The latest Ukrainian armed forces incendiary drones now burn enemy units alive. The Russians, terrified, have nicknamed these Ukrainian drones Dragon drones because there's no escaping them, not in the tree line, not in the trenches, not even in the dugout.
The thermite dropped from the drone looks like fire spewing from the mouth of a mythical dragon, which is where the drones get their name, according to CNN.
Thermite is the main destructive agent used in these new UAVs. By scattering it over enemy positions, our operators burn out the trees and bushes where Russian soldiers are hiding, as well as their equipment, artillery, and fortified positions.
The temperature of this thermite cap is over 2,500 degrees. It can completely melt through armor, it can find its way into the engine, and if it does, it will burn straight through the entire thing.
Thermite munitions, which our military has started attaching to drones, are believed by American analysts to be capable of completely changing the nature of combat along the front line. How does this weapon work? What targets can the Ukrainian armed forces' thermite charges destroy? And when will they start being used on a large scale at the front? That's what we'll talk about today in Arsenal. It wouldn't be accurate to call thermite weapons something new. The substance itself was invented back at the beginning of the last century. The innovation here is that now, with the help of drones, these compact munitions can be used with pinpoint accuracy, for example, against enemy firing positions or along trenches, completely depriving the enemy of any chance to take cover.
The new weapon that has appeared on the battlefield is, so to speak, thermite munitions. Thermite is a combat substance that has been known for 120 years, ever since it was invented, and it was widely used during World War II.
The basis of such powerful destructive force is a simple chemical reaction between two metals, a mixture of iron oxide and aluminum. When these two components are combined, ignition occurs at a temperature of over 1,000 degrees. At the same time, if you add one more component, the mixture becomes many times more dangerous, since the temperature rises and the deadly cocktail literally flies in all directions.
If you add an oxidizer based on salt, for example, barium nitrate, to this mixture of aluminum and iron oxide, thermite turns into what's called thermate. This kind of mixture burns with the release of gas and fire. Moreover, this thermite mixture splatters and scatters, which means it hits the target more effectively.
Now, let's talk about the ways this mixture is used. Based on the analysis of the available videos from our fighters, there are currently two distinct methods being used: open dropping of the thermal mixture over Russian positions, and dropping thermal munitions that are designed to precisely destroy specific targets.
Our strike drones are the wings of retribution, bringing fire straight from the sky. They have become a real threat to the enemy, burning their positions with a precision that no other weapon can provide.
When it comes to more specific and targeted applications, it usually involves dropping special grenades. Most of them are distinctly rectangular in their overall shape. This makes it much easier to attach them to the drone and significantly reduces the likelihood of the grenade rolling away after being dropped.
In the photo, we can see these new thermite munitions for drones. The body is very similar in design to the RGD-27 thermobaric grenade, rectangular with a magnetic belt, exactly as you would expect it to be. It is designed to be dropped from standard commercial reusable drones like the Mavic, as well as FPV drones that are used as reusable platforms.
At the same time, the thermite packed into the grenade has much greater destructive power, especially when it comes to enclosed spaces. Essentially, it acts as a thermobaric weapon, which works as follows. When it detonates, a cloud of special aerosol instantly fills the room, and a second explosion ignites it. As a result, the damage is caused both by the shockwave and by the high temperature.
When this device explodes, a shockwave is generated that begins to spread through the surrounding atmosphere. Elements of the thermobaric mixture then begin to move behind it, reacting with the air as well as with each other. The process here is quite complex. As a result, a certain volume of gases is produced, forming a cloud at a specific temperature. Typically, thermobaric mixtures should reach temperatures of about 2400 to 2600 degrees Celsius.
Experts say that the Ukrainian armed forces could use this kind of weapon to destroy fortified enemy positions. Instead of spending many long hours attempting to storm a strongpoint, utilizing just a small handful of specialized drones equipped with these grenades would be more than enough to completely obliterate any enemy defensive position into tiny pieces.
A thermobaric munition is especially effective in enclosed spaces. These include pillboxes, bunkers, buildings, and trenches. In open areas, it's not as effective because the overpressure at the front of the shock wave is somewhat weaker than that of conventional explosives.
However, this weapon can still be quite effective not only indoors. For example, if the defense forces spot a trench or dugout with several soldiers inside, a thermite munition would also be quite appropriate to use.
With a thermobaric munition, if it lands in an enclosed space, say a trench, then when it detonates, it starts to flow along the trench or into closed rooms. At that point, you can't just hide around the corner from it. So if it's shrapnel, you can hide and the shrapnel will fly past. But with this, there's nowhere to hide. Besides that, because of the sudden impact of the air blast wave, you also suffer damage not just to your hearing, but to your lungs and everything else.
A direct hit from a thermite munition on equipment will also cause catastrophic and irreparable damage, since the burning temperature of about 2,500 degrees can easily melt through almost any type of steel, even under a thick layer of armor. Thermite munitions are exceptionally and highly effective when striking vehicles or heavy equipment. You can't put out thermite with water, and you can't smother it with dirt. It simply burns all the way through until the chemical reaction is complete. The temperature of this thermite cap is over 2,500 degrees. It can melt its way right through the side paneling, it can seep deep into the internal engine components, and then it will completely incinerate the entire system from within. It is a remarkably straightforward and highly cost-effective weapon. Despite their phenomenal effectiveness, analysts say the main advantages of thermite munitions are their cost and ease of production. Even without having any production lines, you can literally manufacture and produce thousands of them by hand. By the way, the basic principle behind thermite munitions isn't limited to just grenades or canisters. By multiplying its quantity several times over and swapping the drone for a rocket, our engineers are fully capable of turning Ukrainian multiple-launch rocket systems into a real nightmare for the occupiers.
You can equip those same systems we already have in service with thermobaric mixtures. First of all, that's the GRAD system and the SMIRCH system. So there's no need to invent anything new here. You just need to swap out the warhead.
If there's any other weapon you'd like to learn about, be sure to let us know in the comments below this video. And don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to our new Arsenal channel. The link is in the description below the video.